If you know anything about me at all, you know we have a large family, so we draw names for Christmas. I drew Brandon's name, and I asked Alyssa for some ideas. He stacks his tennis shoes and flip-flops up on the deck, so she wanted a box, approximately 38 inches wide, 24 inches tall, that folds up on the top. So I drew some plans out on the bench and started working on it. I know I look a little rough. It's Christmas time, so there's always a rush. I never get ahead of this. Alyssa has requested for you, Brandon, a boot rack that stays outside. I'm going to make this out of pressure-treated pine and cedar. So I've got this thing laid out here. She wants it 36 inches wide, 24 inches tall, 18 inches deep. So I've got a rough sketch here. I used my rafting square and my speed square and kind of roughly found a 4 pitch. And I took this over to my bevel, slide bevel here, and took that over to the miter saw. This was just a little more than 22.5. And since there's a positive stop on my miter saw at 22.5, this angle right here is going to be 22.5. So I just cut the front and the back rails for the roof. They are 34 inches long. That gives me a half an inch on each side, or an inch on each side, to hang over the top. So that's what I'm going to put together first. This is the back side, and this is the front side. So these are going to get put together. Use pocket screws for the joints here. I think that'll be plenty strong enough. I'm not a great fan of those, but in this case, it's a great application. Well, there it is, looking a lot like a rabbit hutch I've made in the past. I've got a rock in it, but it's not square. I can't square it until I get some framing. She wants the lid to come down. I'm not sure I can do that, but I'm going to give it a try. And now that I have this basic framework together, I think I'm ready for trying that. All right, there it is. I've got this top screwed down right now because I still haven't worked out all the details on this door, but that top now should keep everything square. Got the rock out of it, pretty much. You can see I've got about every clamp I own out here. Oh, I'm loving that. That is dead on. That is dead on. Now I can make a square door. Maybe. So I'm going to figure out the door next. And once I get to figure out the door, the rest of it's a piece of cake. A little siding, a little floor, but the door is definitely an issue right now. I've laid this on the side here. A little handwork here yesterday. The top will drop into this. Cut this rail here, so the top is all worked out. So now I just have to I'm going to secure, this is already secured here. This is going to be the keeper to keep the door up. And I need to secure it right here and call this finished. So the simplest way to secure this is with the portable Kreg pocket jig. So I have a rabbiting bit set up in the router here, and it's set up to be half the width of the board. So while these boards are still full size, I'm going to rabbit down both sides, take it to the table saw. I've got the table saw set up so it's going to cut this exactly in half, and then I need to rabbit the other sides to make shiplap siding for this. All right, I'm going to clamp this with a couple of 10-pound weights. This is really soft wood. It doesn't take much. I finally set up a little jig here to do the routing with, so it makes it a lot faster. You hear my vacuum, my air cleaner in the background. That's because this cedar kicks up a lot of dust. But I've got 1-inch galvanized staples here. So now it's just a matter of cutting this to length and filling it in. So once cut, look for defects in here. Pretty good size. This is the front door, so it's got to look good. I'm glad I put these nailers in here because this one has quite a warp in it. But I want it to look a little rustic anyway. So it's a matter of marking this. Stepping over to the miter saw, giving that a cut, and then double checking. So here's the finished door. Now put the test to see if it fits. Wish me luck. All right, Alyssa, somehow your wish got granted. To close it, it's fallen into the bottom now. You lift it up a little bit and slides down. Now the other keeper isn't on this side, so I can still work on it. I thought I might have to cut this top off a little bit. But I could not be more psyched about how it fits. That's it right there. All right, I'm going to leave it out right now and go ahead and trim the rest of this out. Knowing that that fits is such a relief. There goes a clamp. I know, I make a mess when I make things, but I'm psyched about how this is working. All right, I'm going to put the floor in. I've got the cypress cut. I didn't want to change the table saw fence, so the cypress is going to be the same size as the siding. However, it has a rough edge on it, so I could use a little shim in the table saw and get that out, but it just takes a couple of strokes of the block plane, and I've always liked to do handwork. My plane's getting a little bit dull, but I don't want to take time to sharpen it today. And then I decide which side's the best looking. This has a flaw in it right there, so then I'm going to knock the edges off the top. I like the smell of this stuff. It's kind of cypress. Well, each wood has its own distinct smell, but cypress has a very nice odor. So this one's a little rougher than the last one. I may have to stop and sharpen my blade, but I can also open the throat just a little bit, and that'll take a little bit bigger shavings. So I have the bottom, the top, not the top, the bottom, the side, the back. I'm starting on the top right now. I'll also set up a little stop right here, cut all of these the same length. So this makes it go up pretty fast. So from the sketch, Alyssa, here it is. Door drops down. Room for boots, shoes. Merry Christmas, Brandon. Nothing to do now but clean up this mess.